So first of all, could you please tell us how do you react to today's announcement of 25 basis points rate cuts?
Well, I think the announcement wasn't a panic. It was a careful, modest adjustment. A 25 basis point cut was expected. A 50 basis point cut, which some were arguing for, frankly, would have signaled panic. And the data, in my judgment, don't justify that yet.
So you've also listened to Powell's press conference afterwards. So what is your reaction and what can we get from his speech?
You know, he was walking a tightrope there, trying to balance both sides of the coin in terms of how many rate cuts we'll see between now and year end or shortly thereafter over the near term. It seems that future cuts will be driven by a mix of economic data and political pressures. The Fed is watching, I'm sure, both very closely. I anticipate probably one or two small cuts, given the amount of pressure we see and uncertainty with the labor data now. Maybe we'll see one, possibly two additional 25 basis point cuts over the course of throughout year end or slightly into 2026. But the degree and timing of any further cuts, like I said, will depend on the incoming data, the inflation data. Does the labor market data further deteriorate? And also, frankly, the we have to factor in Trump's rhetoric and his influence over Fed appointments. And what I mean by that, in terms of we have to factor in the political side of the equation, if you will, Trump's so-called influence, as you ask about here, is that, for example, if the data here moving forward suggests it's a mixed bag, and in prior times the Fed might decide to sit tight with no further cuts. If the data are like that over October, November, and December, formally would have suggested no cuts. In today's environment, the Fed may end up swaying and cutting rates. And largely, in my judgment, this is due to Trump's pronounced influence on the Federal Reserve, on the FOMC now that he has. He has, and to your question, he has appointed a number of key figures on the voting committee on the FOMC. He appointed Stephen Moran, who effective today or yesterday is on the FOMC.